Hi everyone, welcome to my channel Notes in the Sewing Room. My name's Becky. Welcome along if you are new here, and thank you for joining me again if you are already a subscriber. If you are new, my channel is all about sewing and craft activities, so if that's something that does interest you, I would love it if you could subscribe to my channel and press that notification bell so you get to see all of my latest videos. So today's video is all about one of my absolute favourite patterns that I really wanted to share with you. It's not a new pattern, but I think it's really seasonal, so that's why I wanted to bring my collection to you today. I've actually made 9 versions of this sweatshirt pattern, and I think if you haven't made it already, it is something that I'm sure you will love if you do give it a go. This is the first version that I've made. This is the next version. 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 The next version. This is my final version. So which pattern am I talking about? I'm talking about the Grainline Linden Sweatshirt pattern. So I'm sure you are familiar with this pattern already, but if you're not, it is a great one to try, particularly if you are in a cold place like me. I live in the UK. It's absolutely freezing here at the minute. So what I thought I would do in this video today is share my top 10 reasons with you for making this jumper and reasons that I absolutely love this pattern, as well as giving you a little bit of a review of the pattern itself as well. So I really do hope you enjoy what I've got to share with you today. So stay tuned and I'll tell you more. If you are new to sewing and you fancy doing a jersey project and fancy making a sweatshirt, then this one is a really good pattern to try. It's actually really suitable for beginners for a number of reasons really. It's available in sizes 0 to 18, and it's a really lovely pattern to get you started with making jersey makes, to be honest. The pattern actually describes itself as having a graceful scooped neckline. It's got a relaxed fit, although you can change up the fit depending on how loose or not you like your jumpers to be. It's an update on a classic style of sweatshirt. So view A features long sleeves with cuffs and falls to the mid hip, and view B hits the high hip and has short sleeves. You can mix and match the sleeve and body lengths to create your perfect sweatshirt. So why not give this a go if you haven't already? In terms of the techniques involved in making this particular pattern, there are a number of things that you can try if you are new to sewing with jersey. If you're not, then this project is a really quick make and you can definitely make it up in hardly any time at all. You can make this project either on your sewing machine by using the zigzag stitch perhaps, or the lightning bolt stitch, any kind of stretch stitch you prefer, or you could make it on your overlocker. To be honest, I mainly make this project on my overlocker, but that's absolutely not essential. You can definitely make this on a regular sewing machine. So in this project, you'll be sewing some straight seams, and you'll also be attaching the neckline, the cuffs, and a band for the hem as well. So if you are new to doing that kind of thing, you can either decide to use the sweatshirting fabric that you are using for the main body pieces perhaps, or you could use a ribbing fabric depending on what you prefer. Medium weight knits do tend to work well for this particular project, but as I'll go on to tell you, I've actually made this project in a number of different types of jersey, and it does work well as long as they're not too flimsy and don't have too much movement. Depending on the width of your fabric, you really don't need a lot of fabric to actually make this project, which is always a winner in my book, because I don't know about you, but projects that take absolutely loads and loads of fabric, I'm often put off by because they can be quite expensive to make, and also, it's a big investment trying to find the right type of fabric in terms of, the time that you're putting into it, and also it's a big investment from a financial point of view, particularly if this is the first time perhaps that you've made this project, you don't know if you're going to like it or not. It's nice if the fabric requirements are not too much. So if your fabric is 45 inches wide, then if you're making the size 0 and you're making version A, you would need 1 yard and 5/8, and if you're making the size 18, you would need 2 yards and 1/8. So it's not too much at all, to be honest. If you're making view B and your fabric is 45 inches wide, then you'll need 1 yard and 3/8, or if you're making the size 18, you would need 1 yard and 3/4. So again, not too much there. And there really is a lot of opportunities here to be as creative as you want to with this particular pattern. I have seen a number of people making this recently on Instagram and YouTube. I guess it's just that time of year, and it's just really the perfect pattern for winter. So let me tell you my 10 reasons that I absolutely love this jumper and would recommend that you make if you've not tried it already. Reason number 1 is that it's a really quick sew. You can make it in an afternoon if you want to. Like I said, either using your overlocker or using your sewing machine, whichever you prefer. If you are an experienced sewist and you make lots of garments, perhaps you have made this make before, then you can definitely whip it up in no time at all, probably just a few hours to be honest. So yeah, not very long. I think probably my last version took me maybe 2 hours, something like that. So if you have made this before, it's a really good way just to get that quick sewing fix if that's what you're after. Reason number 2 is that it's a great project to be able to be creative with fabrics in terms of the colourways that you use and the types of fabric perhaps as well, as long as you're using a jersey stretch fabric. As you saw from the colours that I've made already, the different versions, there are lots of different ways that you can be creative. Each of the different versions that I've made have been the long sleeve version that's actually the full length. So it's view A that I've actually made from the pattern pack, but I did actually find that being quite a tall lady, I'm 5'10", that the pattern for me, even in the longer length, does still come up a little bit short. I wanted the pattern to come basically to just below my waistline here. So I found that I needed to add 5 centimetres onto the actual length of the pattern to make it, you know, the right length for me. But that's obviously personal preference and up to you if you decided to go for the measurements that are in the pattern pack, or you decided to lengthen the pattern a little bit to meet your requirements. Reason number 3 to make this jumper is that it's the perfect cosy jumper for winter. Depending on the type of jersey you use, perhaps if you use a sweatshirt jersey that's got a lovely fleece back to it, then this really is a warm, snuggly jumper that's going to keep you warm all year long, and particularly during the winter months like we are in at the minute. Reason number 4 is that it's got raglan sleeves. So if you're not sure what raglan sleeves are, they're basically the sleeves that create these lovely seams down here. So you get this detailing at the front and at the back. Raglan sleeves are really easy to insert, and I think they add that little bit of interesting detail to the front and to the back of the garment as well. Reason number 5 is that you really don't need to use a twin needle on this project if you don't want to. By that I mean you don't need to add on a twin needle stitch or a zigzag stitch or anything like that if you don't want to the cuffs, and you don't need to do that to the hemband or to insert the neckband. However, if you would like to do some top stitching just around here, you can probably see on my jumper that I've actually done a twin needle stitch all the way just around here to keep the neckline nice and flat, but that really is optional and up to you if you'd like to do it. Reason number 6 is that this project really can be made in lots of different jerseys. The versions that I've made have been in a sweatshirting fabric, I've used a French terry fabric, and I've used a medium weight cotton jersey fabric as well. And it's entirely up to you if you use the same type of jersey throughout the project, or if you mix and match as you go. Reason number 7 is that I think this is a really versatile piece of clothing that can be worn with skirts, it can be worn with pyjamas, and it can be worn with trousers and jeans and basically anything that you fancy. I love wearing these jumpers with my pyjamas. I think it just keeps me lovely and warm. I've been known to wear them to bed quite a few times, and of course I wear them out and about as well during the day if I'm going anywhere, and in the house as well. So it really is an all-round jumper that you'll get loads of wear out of. Reason number 8 is that you can make this jumper with or without ribbing fabric. So by that I mean you can use the same, say using a sweatshirt fabric, you can use the same one if you've got enough fabric for the cuffs, for the neckband and for the hemband as well, or you can mix and match and use ribbing fabric if you prefer. Reason number 9 is that this pattern really doesn't have too many pattern pieces. That means you can cut it out quickly and you can put it together quickly. And it's also not too confusing if you are new to sewing. Reason number 10 for making this pattern is that you really do have lots of opportunities here to be creative and hack this jumper into lots of different styles. So 2 ideas that I had would be to lengthen the main body pieces to your desired length and turn it into a jumper dress. Perhaps you could include the hemband or not. You could just use a zigzag stitch or a twin needle to finish off the bottom instead if you wanted to. You could make this A-line, you could follow the same lines of the actual sweatshirt pattern, entirely up to you. Another idea for making this would be to turn it into a t-shirt. So perhaps you could miss off the hemband, you could shorten the sleeves. I know version B in the pattern pack does actually have shorter sleeves, so you could make those perhaps without the cuff detail if you wanted to, or perhaps you could change the sleeves and maybe include a gathered sleeve instead, or perhaps a balloon sleeve, make it really on trend. My favourite versions of this sweatshirt that I've made are definitely this one that I'm wearing. I love the bright colourway of this particular jersey. It's a sweatshirting fabric that I've got here, and I love that it's got this beautiful bee design all over it. It just makes me feel really happy. I love bright colours and they just make me feel really joyful when I'm wearing them. Pink is definitely one of my favourite colours, and I love the bright green colour as well. I did actually have a little bit of this jersey left over after making this project, so I also used the rest of it to make some bibs for my baby. Another one of my favourites in terms of the ones I've made are this lovely silver colourway. So this is actually a much lighter weight jersey that I've used for this, and as you can see, I've actually used a ribbing jersey round the top here. I've used that also on the cuffs, and I've used that on the hemband as well. Now, I've actually had this jumper here for a couple of years, but I never get bored of wearing it. Now, I think that's because it's sparkly. I love anything with a bit of sparkle. Again, it makes me feel happy and cheerful when I wear anything sparkly. It means you can wear it at Christmas time if you'd like to and not feel out of place, but I wear this all year round, and I just find that it dresses up anything plain that I've got in my wardrobe and just adds a little bit of sparkle to my day. Another one of my favourites is this animal print version. So I actually made this version in a cotton jersey, and then I've also added on the ribbing fabric for the cuffs, the hem and the neckband as well. Finishing again with a twin needle just around here so that the neckline lies nice and flat. Again, I love that this is a lovely bright jumper. It makes me just feel like I've got that extra pop of colour, and it just kind of makes my outfit just kind of stand out a little bit, and just makes me feel quite special when I'm wearing this. For me, this is a winner in two regards really. One, it's pink, I love that, and I love that it's bright, and also I think that I really like the sparkly bits in the animal print. So if I just hold that up a little bit closer, you'll be able to see it a little bit better. But yeah, I love this one. All of my versions have had lots of wear, but I'm sure I'll just keep on wearing this one for ages and ages because I love it. Well, I hope you've enjoyed learning about my Linden Grainline jumper collection today, and maybe it's given you a little bit of inspiration to try this project again if you have made it before, or maybe to give it a go for the first time if you haven't used the pattern. If you have enjoyed watching this video, I would love it if you could press that like button and leave me a comment below. Let me know perhaps if you've made this pattern before, what kind of fabric you used, and if you like any of my versions particularly, and of course if it's given you any inspiration to try a different version yourself. If you would like to keep up to date with all of my latest videos, I do tend to post 2 videos per week, normally one in the middle of the week and one at the weekend as well. So if you would like to keep up to date, it would be great if you could subscribe to my channel and press that notification bell so you don't miss any of my latest content. But until next time, I'll leave it there. Thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it, and I'll see you soon. Bye.